Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Jon.
I'm Barbara.
And I'm Gus.
So, who would make the most money off their feet at Rooster Teeth? Go.
Me.
Do you think you've seen not every person at Rooster Teeth, but like a lot of people's feet at Rooster Teeth?
I don't think so.
Right. I would pay a lot not to see his feet.
Yeah.
Have I ever seen I've seen your feet.
I think so. Like when we did the calendar shoot, I was around in bare feet for a long time.
Yeah.
Over in the other stage.
With all the costumes.
And I'm sure, like changing clothes at some point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
I've seen you mostly naked at this point.
I have to be careful because, like, whenever we are filming something, we're doing costume changes, like, I have no shame. I'll just start changing my clothes, like, in the office. But it's like, I don't want to make other people uncomfortable. So sometimes I'll go to, like, a partition area to change. Like, not that I care. Or if there's nobody in the office, I'll try to very quickly change.
Yeah.
And I always feel guilty. Like, if someone's going to open the door and walk in, like, they're going to feel bad. It's like, no. It's fine. I don't care. I feel bad for you that you've walked in and experienced
someone walking in and Gus screaming, "I would have asked for consent."
I personally don't care.
Okay.
If I'm one of the people you're worried about.
It's everyone. Like, I don't want to make any assumptions
That's
about
true.
anyone at all. So I'm always trying to be very, very careful about it.
I made some of the boys in our office a little uncomfortable today. I had to be dressed like a woman of the night. I think that's the proper way to say it.
A prosty?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For like a bit we were doing. And
It was for a bit.
It's for a bit. It wasn't legit. Not this time. But I was wearing like a dress that was really short.
Okay.
And it's a dress that I bought online, not realizing how fucking short this dress was. And it's a good thing I brought shorts with me because literally if I like leaned over to pick something, my entire
if it
ass
hiked
would
up
be
at
out.
all.
Like not even just like the edge of my butt cheek, but like the entire ass is out.
But
and
not
so
the hole.
I wore shorts under the dress.
You're on the short list of coworkers that I currently work with that I've not seen their ass. And I'm not looking to take you off the list. I'm just saying.
There's a way you can
I'm
for
just
a low
saying.
price.
I've seen I had to do intern interviews today.
This is an awful segue.
No. What a segue.
I had someone ask me in one of it, like, what's
ass have
the
you
office
seen?
culture and environment like? And I realized, I'm like, oh yeah, I have to like tell people like this. There is a level of like unprofessionalism that comes with this environment where you might walk in on Gus
Go watch
changing into a costume.
Go watch our TikTok.
Yeah, so it's like, that kind of stuff happens where you just accidentally see Chris's feet and you didn't mean to see Chris's feet.
That's like a gift, though.
I sit next to Chris. I've been sitting next to Chris for a few months now. At first at the other temporary space, and when we moved here, I sit next to him, and
I like the sigh that went with that.
it's been a learning experience. Slowly teaching Chris where his desk ends and my desk begins. It's
man.
He's good about it now. This is no longer an issue. But for way too long, it was. See, right here is where your stuff should stop because this is where my stuff needs to
Do you
start.
not have separate desk pieces?
But that was learned pretty quickly.
But on the ground.
But then, there was a file cabinet that then got put between us. That was like
Contested territory.
it was in the
International
DMZ,
waters.
and it straddled half on his side, half on my side. And at first, I tried to be diplomatic about it. I was like, Chris, just out of curiosity, what the fuck do you have a file cabinet for? What do you keep in there? He's like, oh, it's personal stuff. And he starts like opening it. It's like deodorant. Like our lanyards that we have our key cards in, like 10 of those. I was like, what? You haven't opened it, have you?
No.
You should go over there and take a look. It's madness.
I just figured it was like work stuff.
Files.
Why would I figure that?
It's like an insight into the mind of Chris Damaris.
Yeah.
What really helped Gus get those boundaries respected was when he got the little clicker. Just to tell Chris when he's doing it right.
With a high pitch.
Yeah.
We filmed an Easter egg hunt video that came out like right before Easter where Blaine dressed up like an Easter egg and we had to find him in Mueller Park.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave Chris a ride from the temporary space over to Mueller Park. And he was so good in the car. I was like, I'll buy you a snow cone, Chris. We went to the snow cone place over there.
I got there a few minutes after you guys, and you were in that little like food truck area eating the snow cones. And Chris just looks up at me and goes, "I was good in the car."
Oh my God.
And I was like, "What does that mean?"
No, that just means that's how low the bar has gotten. That's how far it's gotten. Where in order to facilitate good behavior, we have to reward him.
What would warrant bad etiquette in your car?
That's the question I have as well.
I don't know, like messing with the seat, moving settings around, taking your shoes off.
Pushing every button possible
Yeah.
on the center console.
Was he good in the car because you asked him to be, or like,
On his own, he was a big boy.
oh, good.
Yeah.
You didn't even tell him to do anything.
Yeah, I
or
didn't
not
tell
do
him he would
anything.
even get a reward. That's why.
Look at that.
Yeah, it's the best kind. I love Chris.
But just to finish up this story too, I came into the room wearing the dress with
Oh,
the
shit.
short.
I didn't see the set dress,
It's okay. You'll see it in the TikTok.
I guess.
And I had shorts underneath, and I was like telling them, I'm like, oh, this dress is really short. So I put shorts underneath, and I was like showing them. And Chris and Blaine were like, huh. Yeah. And like, I'm like, I'm just like showing you so you don't think that like I'm going to bend over and you're going to, and they're like,
It's really just, it's still uncomfortable.
yeah.
I didn't see it. I was in the other room when
It was
y'all were
just funny
doing
how
that.
they were trying to be polite about it and not make eye contact with me.
It's because you're part coworker and part sister to them.
Yeah,
And so that's what they're seeing.
it's true.
Yeah, don't be disgusting.
Barbara almost had a spit take before we started the episode, and then she just almost had another one again right now.
Yeah, John got on me for not keeping up with my water, so I chugged a bunch.
Why was I getting on you so much? Because
Well-
originally I was like, oh, you're still at 4 o'clock today.
Yeah.
You should be at 5 o'clock.
So the
but
water
you're not.
bottle I have has times on the side, so it shows me where I should be drinking my water like throughout the day, because I'm really bad at drinking water. I'm terrible. And so like 8 a.m., 9 a.m., et cetera. And then on the other side, it has 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. And John thought I was already on the second bottle and that I was only at 4 p.m., even though it's 5 p.m. right now. But I'm truly on 10 a.m.
Wow.
Because I have not been doing very well.
Why
7
doesn't-
hours behind.
Why doesn't a company invent a bottle that counts how many bottles of water you've had? What?
Like in a day or cumulative or both?
What if they also invented a bottle that told you what was in the
Oh,
bottle
that bottle. That's
and
right.
told you the calories that could be in it?
Is that company still around?
Isn't that the thing? Isn't that thing you
I faintly
ordered
remember
on like?
now what you're alluding to.
I was looking to the Vestal, which was a cup that told you, like, hey, you got orange juice, and this is 95 calories. And then what they discovered is that doesn't exist. We can't make that. So here's a cup that just counts how many times you had water.
I don't even know where you even start to be able to analyze the ingredients in a liquid.
Well, you take everyone's money, and then you think, damn, that didn't work.
I would think you
Oh,
would
well.
try to figure out, it's like a density issue. Like the volume of the liquid versus the weight, and then what it could possibly be.
That doesn't even work that way.
No,
though.
and like then you're only narrowing it down. Like it's not maybe a sensor to see how much light comes. I don't know, man.
Because density doesn't even facilitate calories.
No, just to try to like identify what it is, like to
Oh.
narrow it down.
You do have a cool water bottle though, Gavin. You have that one you were telling me and Trevor about. That like
We're so old.
yeah. We're talking about our cool water bottles.
Hey, tell the kids about that cool water bottle you have.
It is cool though.
Yeah, it's got like a UVC.
Make sure
light
to put a
in
picture of
the-
this water bottle in the thumbnail for this episode, because this is going to be the
Please.
highlight of
Please
the
don't.
entire episode.
Hey kids, hydration slaps.
It actually does.
Sorry, tell us about the really bitchin'
No, it's got like
bottle.
a UVC light in the lid that turns on every hour or so, and it just means that you can leave water in it for much longer, and it doesn't taste gammy like overnight water.
UVC. What is that?
It's like a
Ultraviolet light in the C
but
spectrum.
to the point where if you shine it in your eye, it will really hurt. And I think because of that, it kills stuff in the water.
Kills bacteria or something like
Okay.
that.
So
Yeah.
does the water bottle have batteries?
The lid has like a USB slot. Yeah, I've got to charge my bottle, all right? It
You gotta plug your water into the wall.
It lasts about a month, and every so often I got to charge the lid, all right? But
Charge your lid.
I can, go out of town and come back, and if there's still water in there, it's still fine. Sorry, Eric.
Because
what?
it wouldn't be otherwise.
No, you
Also,
can't just
Is
leave
it,
water
is
out.
it that one?
You
Yep.
don't have to wash it as much either.
Explain to me why you can't just leave water out.
Yeah, you don't have to. If you just keep water in it, Eric, you hardly ever have to wash it unless you drool in it.
The benefit you just gave is that if I go out of town for a month, I can still have the old water.
It's a very extreme example, Eric, but sometimes I'll leave the bottle somewhere and I'll come back and I won't have to wash it. I can keep using it immediately, Eric.
We also talked about this led to another discussion, which I'm not proud to admit, but I'll do it on the podcast as well. We were talking about how like if you have a cup of water that you put on your nightstand, like when you're going to bed and you drink it, you like leave it on your nightstand overnight. some people don't drink that water when they wake up, or like they don't like the taste of it the next day or the next 2 days, whatever it is. I'll leave a cup of water on my bed. I'll drink it like 3 days later.
Yeah.
It does taste wrong though, doesn't it?
It doesn't taste as good, but it's like if I'm thirsty, I'll drink it.
You also don't have cats, because if you did, you probably wouldn't do that.
It's very true.
Because they like to drink what's on the counter.
Oh.
Or on
What
the
if you
side
put it
table.
with like
and you
a...
have what? One cat?
Lilith?
Or-
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
And whose fault is that?
I just
What?
realized.
Why isn't there one of my head?
Because you didn't go to that event.
Oh.
This is from Level Up Expo
Hey,
in Vegas.
what?
That's my face.
Oh, I didn't.
Throw my
I don't
face
need
away.
it.
You should give that out at RTX.
Just chuck
Why?
it. Just
I'm
chuck
gonna
it
cuddle with
randomly
it.
into the
It's
audience.
You should give it to Esther
It's mine.
if you're ever out of town.
Esther
Neat.
needs to just. You should put that like next to where your like dog sleeps, so they can always look at.
Oh, he would
Daddy.
love that.
Yeah.
I realized I saw Gavin every day this weekend, including Friday. And that's very,
Friday, Saturday, Sunday,
yeah.
And Monday. 4 in a row.
and Monday. Hey, we're friends.
We don't usually hang out that much.
Well, not in the last couple of years.
That's very true.
So what happened to you guys in the past couple of years?
Summer happened.
Something strange.
I hung out with Eric
Keeping
too
people
this weekend.
apart.
Yeah, Eric had his birthday bash.
Oh, you're the guy got Eric Cam.
Eric.
Yeah, we were just on a boat.
You that this
Do I look
angle
like-
is
do I look
so
like a-
milky.
Somebody said I look like a cryptid.
Put your arms out that way.
You just call him Milky.
Yeah, we were on a boat, and that was a fun time.
Yeah. It
And
was
and that's
a
all you'll say about it.
party boat, which I'd never been on one before. But it was just one guy captaining it the whole time. And he had to re-anchor the boat 3 times,
He just kept
4
going.
times.
Guys, we're gonna be good. No wind today. Drop this anchor, swim around. It'll be great. 45 minutes later, get in the boat.
Yeah, because it turns out when you're sat with your feet up on the steering wheel and your hat down like this, you don't pay much attention to the drift of the boat, and
Yeah.
then suddenly you might be like,
Suddenly we're 10
What?
feet away from rocks.
Oh! Like you
"Get in!"
You've drifted towards something that's
Yeah,
dangerous
like
for
the
the boat.
anchor he put down came loose, and we started drifting close to rocks.
2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
It was pretty exciting.
There was one time where Meg was in a little like ring floaty thing, because she has something where she like can't get in the water yet, and this was the first time where he's like, "Get in the boat, we gotta go now!" And everyone's like swimming to the ladder, and Meg's like, "Help me, help!" And like she's the only one out there, and she's going, "Boy, boy!"
Yeah, so I was at the ladder on the side, like, so everyone was like basically in a line trying to get up the ladder, and I was like taking people's drinks. I was like, "Come on!" And then I realized that she was still over there, and I was like, "Ah!" And I like, just jumped off the other side of the boat, and I grabbed her and pulled her on the other side.
It's
Yeah, that
not
guy
like it
wasn't-
was a big emergency every time we had to move the boat.
Right.
It was just, I think it was, like Gavin said, the captain going, shit, got to pay attention again, hang on. And that was his mode. But it worked.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if you told me that we were out there for 45 minutes instead of 4 hours, I would have believed you.
Dude.
It like flew.
It flew by.
Yeah, it was killer.
We should definitely do that again.
Yeah.
I've only ever been on a party barge once. It was a long time ago, pre-Rooster Teeth. I had a friend who was a bartender, and all these bartenders from this one place in town were all going to go on a party barge one weekend, so I went out there with them, and that was the day I learned how to shotgun beer,
Oh my God.
and I drank most of a bottle of Jack Daniels. And I fell asleep for, I think, about 36 hours. I probably had alcohol poisoning, and I probably should have gone to the hospital.
Oh wow.
But yeah, I woke up, I think, 36 hours later,
What day did you skip?
vomited.
Wow.
It was like
I had
bad.
1 White Claw, and that was it. That's all I drank on the party boat.
Yeah,
So that's a good call, especially if you're out in the sun and the heat like that.
Yeah, I also just like I'm not really drinking much anymore.
yeah. I had the same thing where it's like I'm such a lightweight now. I had a couple of claws, and
Yep.
I got out of the water onto the boat, and the boat's uneven anyway. But I was like, "Oh, where's the railing? That's enough alcohol for me." And then I just started doing flips and
I think
going
I had
down the
half
slide.
of that 24-pack of Coors.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That's
easy.
like 4 beers.
Yeah, man.
There's
You know
also it was great at the start when the boat started taking off. I recall Eric saying, I am not going to wear sunscreen. Mark my words, not going to wear sunscreen. The second the boat parks, he's spraying himself all over on the top. I think probably you realize how sunny and hot
I
it
was
was.
not going to not wear sunscreen.
It's intense.
Yeah, it was a lot of sun.
Didn't you also go float in the river once and you had like a bag of wine or
I
something?
took a box of wine and I took the bag out of the box. And then right as soon as we got into the river, we were tubing, I chugged the entire bag and then passed out on the river, woke up underwater, woke up in reeds. Like, I was a nightmare. Someone had to take care of me. That's back when I had like a shaved head. My scalp burned and all the skin on top of my head came off in one big piece and it had all these tiny holes in it from the follicles.
Dude.
It was bad. It was bad.
You've been tubing, right, John? Have we been tubing together?
No.
Really? I feel like maybe like years and years ago.
I've only intertubed north. I've never gone down to San Marcos.
Okay.
So if you've done mostly San Marcos.
The burns you could get while tubing are
Yeah,
the
yeah.
worst because only
You're
this part of
just
your body
exposed.
is out.
You're just exposed.
And so your shins and your arms, tops of your arms get so burnt.
Yeah, you can get like a burnt inner thigh and lap that you weren't expecting
Yeah.
as well.
The first time I did go intertubing was I was on choir tour with my church.
As you do.
Should I laugh at that? I feel like that's funny.
I was holding for laughter is what I was doing.
Choir tour.
Yeah, I was on choir tour with church, as any youth does. And we, they kind of put in between our shows that we had little things we would do, and we went intertubing. And it was one of the most, it was actually legitimately dangerous, like the way they set us up to do this, because there was a point where a tree had fallen over on the river.
Was anyone around to hear it? That was bad. That was bad delivery. Was anyone around to hear it?
It was,
Let's cut that first part.
let's watch that in the edit. No, it had fallen over enough where you needed to it was right in the middle of the river and you needed to get around it. It was centrally where everybody was heading towards and people had to kind of go around it. But it looked like you could just go all right, I'm going to float to it and then I'm going to stop myself and then I'll just kind of move myself along the thing.
Yeah.
No, what it caused was a kind of a suction.
Oh, fuck.
The water was going so fast under the thing so that when
An
I got
undercurrent of some sort.
Yeah, so when I got to it, put my foot up to stop myself, and my foot stayed, and I didn't. and I went under the thing and lost my inner tube. And this was happening to multiple people who thought this looked smart.
Yeah. Those tubing paths, whatever they're called,
Rivers?
but the sections where people tube, the pathway that they have for it.
But
it's sometimes really dangerous.
it can be. But when we were done, we had not been reapplying stuff.
Sunscreen.
And we were
Yeah.
out there probably for a couple of hours and very, very direct.
They're usually 4 or 5 hours these trips.
And we a bunch of us got to whatever church we were staying at that night and got into the bathrooms and we just saw that we were just made of red.
Yeah.
And it was one of the most painful situations in my entire life.
I remember a few times when we've been tubing, there's always a section where it's almost like a mini little waterfall. It's it goes down a little bit. And sometimes it's so close to the rocks where the water is, you have to sit in your tube like this
Because you get
Yeah, you,
little
lift your
bumpies.
butt.
to avoid your tailbone being fucking grinded by the rocks. And it's always you see each person going, ah!
Trying to avoid
mentally
it.
prepare.
I like tubing.
It's
Tubing's
dangerous
nice.
though.
It can be. I
Water stuff, man.
think I told the story years ago in the podcast, but one time, years ago when I was in my early 20s, I went out tubing with some friends, and it was down in New Braunfels, and you're talking about a tree, where it goes fast. It was a similar situation like that where you go and then there was a quick undercurrent, and if you weren't careful, you would get knocked off and dragged under for a little bit. And I was kind of towards the back of our group of friends, and a friend of a friend, I saw her hit that part and go under, and then not come back up. And I was like, it's been a little longer than it should be. So I jumped out of my tube and then dove down, and she had gotten stuck, her foot had gotten stuck on a
God.
piece of wood.
Yeah.
And she couldn't get out. And I just had to help her shake the tree and get her foot out from
Scary.
under there, and then she popped straight back up.
You saved a life.
Yeah, and it was that kind of thing. It was that could have easily gone the other way, just a couple of seconds if I hadn't been looking, or Maybe she would have broken out on her own too, but you never know, right?
It could also have been wine bag day, and you probably wouldn't have been as much help.
You're right.
Everyone would have been distracted taking care of me.
It's always a scary moment where someone jumps in water, and if they don't come up in enough time, everyone's like playing the mental game of like,
Everyone's kind of watching.
Do I?
Going,
is someone going to jump in? And then like someone will go in. It's like, oh shit. As soon as that first person goes in, you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, this is actually
Someone's
real.
in trouble.
My brain likes to think through unlikely scenarios just for fun.
As you do.
Just to stress me out.
Just to stress me out. But when we were on that boat, there was a little section off the top where people were like jumping off. And in my mind, I was sitting underneath that section. It's like a double-decker boat kind of thing.
Ooh.
I was sitting like on the cushion, just like talking to people, and people were jumping off kind of like behind me. And I had a thought that someone would somehow try to jump, get their foot caught or slip, and fall into the boat onto my head. And so I was like, I'm going to just go sit on the other side.
I think you think about that, but I think that does happen every now and then. I think like
Probably.
every couple of years you hear about someone passing away because as they jump off the top of a barge like that, they hit like something on the lower level, like knock themselves out and then go into the water, and
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
you can't find them or something like that. So
Gotta be so careful.
it does definitely happen.
It's amazing how that
Passing away is such funny phrasing for like a freak accident.
Yeah.
He came in, he smashed his head, and he passed away.
Passed away.
it's funny how that ability of your brain doesn't go away as you age and become more like logical and learned. As soon as like
gotten
even the
worse
most
for me.
like
Learn.
fallacy-filled idea pops in your head, just even little things of like walking down a very, very dark corridor and you're not scared of the dark and you're just fine. But then like as soon as you think of like, what if a murderer was in that room? And then you're just like, well, that's in my head now.
Yeah.
So I'm going to run.
I think
Just shut that door.
you just become, as you get older, you become more aware of different scenarios and different stories and different like things that happen to people.
But,
when
like-
you're young, you're just like blah la 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 la.
But even the young things stay like, do you ever feel fully safe in your dark bedroom putting your hand down under your bed?
I was gonna say, when you're a kid, you picture a monster under the
Yeah.
bed. When
Does
you're an
anybody
adult,
ever-
you picture a murderer.
Yeah, it just,
It's
it
like
just
it
changes.
changes.
That's very true.
Like my underside of my bed is full. Like no one could be under there. Still don't want to put my hand down.
Oh, I just don't want to look in mirrors when it's dark.
Yeah.
I'm afraid I'll see just like a figure behind me. Okay.
But you can't see in a mirror when it's dark.
Or like dim.
Well, not pitch black, but yeah, when it's like dim, or if it's like,
Just play in the space.
or
Why
if
you
it's
gotta be
dark
that
in the
way?
room that's
Why
behind
you
you.
got to be that way?
Yeah, you
like
get like
she's
a
just trying to
silhouette.
contribute to this podcast. It's a comedy podcast.
Gavin, yes, and me.
Like-
yes,
like
and me,
You're just shooting
Gavin.
her down.
And you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You're not
Yeah.
a dumb man.
When it's dark, I don't even know the mirror's there. That's all I'm saying.
That's why Gavin runs into mirrors all the time.
Dun.
If anything, if you're scared of seeing something in a mirror, complete darkness is the ideal situation.
I'm just like, if I had, okay,
you
let me
see some-
phrase this better. If I'm in a room that has a mirror, and the mirror is pointing out back into a room that's dark,
Yeah.
I'm doubling down.
Just sucks.
Yeah, let's get an RTA 8 going through every single possible scenario.
Okay, what if there's one light 30 feet to your left? When do you look in
What
the
if it's
mirror?
Christmas lights?
Yeah.
what if the mirror is actually just a reflection,
Of a mirror?
like a window?
Thanks everybody for joining us for the Rooster Teeth podcast.
Change the subject.
This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by DoorDash. You've got back-to-back meetings, errands to run, chores to take care of. What's the secret to clearing your to-do list? A little help from DoorDash. You can get dinner, household essentials, and everything on your grocery list, all delivered. DoorDash is easy to use. That's pretty much everything I need to get me what I need when I'm on the go. If I'm in a bit of a pinch and the tummy's rumbling, I've always got DoorDash on my side. They get what you want to eat right now, right to your door. And along with the restaurants you love, you can now get groceries and other essential items delivered with DoorDash. Drinks, snacks, other household items in under an hour. Craving late night ice cream? Forget the one key ingredient for dinner, or maybe you just need to stock up for the week. It's easy. It's right there in their app. With over 300,000 partners, you can support your neighborhood go-tos or choose from your favorite national restaurants like Popeyes, Chipotle, Cheesecake Factory. Ordering's easy. Your items will be left safely outside your door when you choose contactless delivery drop-off. I like that. For a limited time, our listeners get 25% off and 0 delivery fees on the first order of $15 or more when you download the DoorDash app and enter code Rooster. That's 25% off up to a $10 value and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code Rooster. Don't forget, that's code Rooster for 25% off your first order with DoorDash. Subject to change. Terms apply. This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Factor. It's getting hot out, and as the weather gets warmer, Factor can help you spend less time at home in the kitchen and more time enjoying the springtime with no cooking, grocery shopping, or dishes. Plus the perfect health-conscious grab-and-go add-ons like smoothies and juices. Luckily, I don't have to meal plan or prep. I can still eat well now that I leave my meals to Factor. Factor makes it easy for me to eat clean 24/7 with fresh, never frozen, prepared meals that are so delicious you wouldn't believe they're actually good for you. Are you looking to feel good for summer? Choose from Factor's Calorie Smart and Keto options with built-in portion control as a great tool to help you get fit for summer. Factor also now offers 30 meals per week where you can choose from a variety of new meals each week. On top of all of that, Factor gives you the option to change it up. Select any plan size between 4 and 18 meals per week. Busy schedule for both lunch and dinner? No worries. Add an extra 2, 3, even 4 meals to your order. Factor even knows my preferences. They offer vegan and veggie meals, keto meals, low-calorie options, cold-pressed juices, smoothies, energy bites, plant-based bars, extra protein, veggie sides, and more to keep me fueled, focused all day long. Eating plant-based has never been so easy, and these meals all taste great. I love them. Bring them here to work, heat them up here. So good. Head to go.factor75.com /rooster120. Use code rooster120 to get $120 off. That's code rooster120. That's the numbers 120 at go.factor75.com /rooster120 for $120 off. Thanks, Factor. This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by Hawthorne. You're listening or watching right now. You're probably wondering how I look this good all the time. And I make it look easy, but, you know, it's consistent. It's all the time. And if you were here, you'd be wondering how I smell this good all the time. And the answer is Hawthorne. Hawthorne's grooming products are my answer when I want to look good, feel good, and smell good. Hawthorne is a premium men's grooming brand that makes it quick and easy to be confidently your best with skincare and hair care made just for you. I could lean on that drugstore stuff, but am I really trusting that, with all of this? I could go get overcharged at a department store, but what I really needed was a company I could trust to set me up with a grooming routine full of tailored products that was still affordable, and that's Hawthorne. So lean on Hawthorne to upgrade your body wash, shampoo, deodorant. Let them recommend a face cleanser and moisturizer that elevates your game, and of course, find your perfect cologne. First, take Hawthorne's quiz. They ask things like what I feel my main needs are, my drink preferences, if I use bar soap or body wash, if I was really fast, really easy, if I really had no preference, there was an option for that. Love it. They've got you covered. Whatever you are, whatever you want, there's an option in there. And at the end of the quiz, you'll view customized products tailored to your body, skin, hair, and lifestyle. They paired me up with deodorant just for me, a shave gel, sensitive body wash. I like the sensitive products. They got that. It was one of the questions. Boom, they sent it to me. Hawthorne stands by their customers, so if you're not completely satisfied, they'll retail your products for free based on your feedback and pay for the shipping. There's truly no risk. Make sure you're ready for anything or anyone that comes your way by taking Hawthorne's quiz today. Go to hawthorne.co. Use promo code Rooster to get 10% off your first purchase. That's HAWTHORNE.co. Promo code Rooster. Hawthorne.co. Promo code Rooster. There was a movie. What was it? It was called The Lake House or The Night House or something like that.
Lake House is Keanu Reeves and Sandra Bullock.
Maybe it's
time
The Night
travel
House. It came
letter
out like
thing.
last year. It was a horror
Night House
movie.
I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes me think about that. It's like this woman's husband dies, and then like she starts finding out all these weird things about him, and that he built a mirror image of their house on the other side of this lake.
Whoa, what?
Yeah, it's like this whole like
That movie was fucking weird.
It was really weird.
And not wholly good.
It was okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean by saying not wholly good. It had some amazing practical effects where they had moments.
Oh, yeah.
Where there was like haunting moments where she could feel like she was being haunted by her dead husband, and they would have these steady shots, and she'd be looking down her house, like down a hallway, and then all of a sudden, a curve of the hallway would turn and reveal a silhouette of him in the curves of like,
if you think of like a
furniture and the molding of the thing, and it looks like, well, that was done CG. No, they had fucking things that they did practically where they made it so that you could like if you shifted, it's kind of like those museum installations
where you look at it from a different angle and it like changes.
It was amazing.
It's a super cool effect. They only use it like twice in that movie.
Watching the behind the scenes, like that looks like too much work you could have just done with visual effects.
I think it looks super scary. I don't know. I like it that it was done practically.
Yeah.
I love being surprised like that. Like Blade Runner 2049, like all the miniatures that you find out they use for all the sets. and you're like, oh, I thought those were like CG landscapes, but it's like, no, they made a little garbage, land and everything like that.
It's similar with the Star Wars prequels, where there's actually a lot of miniatures, but people always assume it's all CG.
It's because it's a lot of CG.
A lot of CG on top of that stuff, but
original films or in the more like recent stuff, or just all of them?
like 1, 2, and 3.
Oh wow.
The prequels, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
there's still
prequels.
quite a lot of
Sorry.
miniature work, even in all that pap.
Isn't the movie Titanic? Didn't they use a miniature version of the ship for a lot of shots?
It might have.
Well, I
Yeah.
think they
I
just
don't think it's like super miniature, but like
Yeah. And I think even
Smaller.
the interiors that they built were not 100% scale. I think like that's the thing people laughed at when James Cameron was making that movie. It's like
wasn't
I think
the whole side like 9/10 scale, but
Right.
it saved a lot of money doing it that way.
yeah, it's like they built the interiors like 90% scale. You're like, why not just build it the whole way? It's like, well, yeah, you build it the whole way. That's like exponentially more expensive. You build it 90%, it still looks fine and it's way cheaper.
there's a shot in a movie. You guys ever seen 50 First Dates?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, but it's been a few years.
You don't
Adam
need,
Sandler,
you
Drew
don't need to go
Barrymore?
back and rewatch it.
I think you do.
Is it Adam Sandler, Drew Barrymore? Right?
It does
Yeah.
not age well.
I love that movie.
It does not age well.
ages
Well, probably
well.
not.
It is not a good film about consent.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I can see that angle. But there's a shot in that movie near the end of the film that makes me laugh every time. It's where Drew Barrymore's character
Comes out of the cabin.
wakes up and she's looking through like the window of the ship.
It's a terrible CG
And then
shot.
it zooms out, but her face is so big in it, like,
Like big and flat.
The scale is so bad, and it's just like it's incredibly obvious that like she's not actually there in the ship looking out. And I just found it so funny that on like a pretty big production like that movie, they couldn't make that look right.
You see that all the time in films, even like good films, where you're like, oh, that's where the time and money ran out.
Yeah, right
Most
there.
of the time really can like screw over even like fantastic filmmakers.
Yeah, I sure can. We were
Even
talking about
people like you, who like work.
You can't make more time.
Gavin saw a movie he'd never seen before on Friday.
That's good.
That was
often
on
is
his
a good thing.
list.
Yeah, list.
What would I say?
Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We saw it. We went to a drive-in theater for Blaine's birthday on Friday and watched Big Trouble in Little China. And a bunch of us hadn't seen it before.
Had you seen it?
No, never.
I'd seen it.
You'd seen it?
It's an older movie. I don't know any reason you would go out of your way to watch. Like, if it's a movie you didn't see by now, I can't imagine going out of your way and be like, I'm going to watch Big Trouble in
I
Little
did.
China.
It's
Well,
a-
really?
I'd only seen it a few years ago, first
I
time.
mean, if you just discovered John Carpenter, you might go through some of them films.
I don't think I'm gonna upset a lot of people, but this is how opinions work. I don't think I'm much of a John Carpenter fan. I don't think his style's for me, and I think maybe I missed it, like as far as like what, like Halloween and Big Trouble in Little China and Thing and that kind of thing.
Oh,
The
I
Thing.
love The Thing.
I think The Thing's probably
It's
one of
so
his.
Thing.
I had seen that for the first time this year too, or in the previous year. I guess.
That's a bit. That's been the thing with staying home with the pandemic. It's like catching up on all the shit you never saw.
I know. It's been helpful. But Big Trouble in Little China was fun. It's also like there are some movies I see that are like Blaine movies, and that is a Blaine movie. That, and then we watched Predator for his birthday a few years
Also
ago
a
too.
Blaine movie? Mhm.
Also a very Blaine movie. Dutch, his dog, named after Dutch from Predator.
That
Yeah.
new Predator movie, Prey, is coming out this. The
trailer just,
summer.
got released.
Was it? Yeah. Was it just like a teaser? Right? It was like
Teaser,
45
yeah.
seconds. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Blaine's got great taste in those sort of insane films from that period where they're sort of dog shit and ape shit, but good shit.
But like,
I was trying to
that's
have
the charm.
I was trying to have that conversation with him during lunch, and I think he was getting upset at me. But I was I was
Hey, your taste in movies are shit.
yeah, I used those exact words, and
Wait,
for some
wait.
reason he got mad at me. No.
John used those words, stepped away for a second, then Blaine turns to me and goes, "Let's just leave him here. Let's just go."
No, I guess I was trying to like. I mean, you described it as like they're ape shit and
Yeah.
and
like
weird.
on paper, it's not a good film.
yeah,
But it's like such a fun film, and it's bonkers.
that's what I was trying to like understand. Is like is his interest that it goes beyond the flaws of the film, and he just likes the fun that he experienced it, because that's a whole genre of films for everybody. Like I told him that I was like, I have films like that I'm like, I know that on paper these are bad movies.
Yeah.
John Brain like them. John Brain want to watch.
I don't need to be moved by a film to have fun.
Yeah.
Which
My greatest example, I've said this before, is like I really like the King Arthur Legend of the Sword the Guy Ritchie film that failed miserably, critically just totally panned.
I think everyone forgot that movie came out.
I've watched it like probably 10 times at this point. Love it. Love it. My Little Trash. Yum, yum, yum.
But not The Thing. You don't like The Thing.
I didn't say I didn't like The Thing. I think John Carpenter's style is maybe not necessarily something that I'm going to like go crazy about and be like, let's rewatch, Halloween.
Is The Thing, does it have the scene in all films where a defibrillation went as badly as it could possibly go?
I don't recall. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
I don't recall
Seems like
any
it
other
should.
movie that has that kind of failure of defibrillation before. Yeah, it might take the cake.
Yeah.
Name another movie that happens in.
Can't.
Is that like a
I
thing?
think that's what he's saying. It's like you can't name another one. Like that's the one where
Not where it goes as badly as that.
it goes that bad. I think was it last week or the week before? Brian Garr tweeted about Jackie Brown, and then like I happened to read it, and it just so happened that Jackie Brown was starting. This is last weekend. Jackie Brown was starting on HBO at the same time. I was like,
That's
oh,
funny.
I'm gonna watch Jackie Brown. So I watched it. I was like, oh yeah, that's still a really good movie. And then this past weekend, I was flipping through the channel. I was like, oh, Jackie Brown's on. I watched it again. I watched it I watched it yesterday, and then the weekend before.
Nice.
This is one of the oldest things that Gus does that makes him old.
Flip through the channels.
Is that you said it was on. It was on and I watched it. What do you mean it was on? and you
I had
watched it?
cable. I was
I
like,
know.
what's
And that's
on cable.
the very first time you ever said that a while ago. I was like, what do you mean? He's like, I still just turn on HBO on
Yeah.
TV. It's like,
What must that
oh.
be? I can't imagine sitting down in front of the TV without a plan.
Well, see, that's the thing. It's like it's easier to find something. Like you could go through a streaming platform and look forever versus like I've narrowed down my decisions to this is what's available at the moment.
I do
wanna
that in
spend-
hotels. Like if I'm at a hotel, I'll flip through
That's
the channels.
different because you're just traveling. You
But
don't have
have
control.
Well,
Which way is it?
I don't want to
I
watch stuff on my phone if I could just put the TV on and just like.
I don't want to spend 30 minutes browsing through every streaming platform to ultimately be like, I guess this.
Well, here's what I try to do is this might be crazy OCD person is I keep an ongoing list of movies that I want to see, and then I use an app that lets me know if they're available for streaming. And then I go through that and I figure out things to watch.
But does stuff pop up and then you're like, I don't really want to see that much.
Yeah, I mean that's why like the list is helpful is that it's a smattering of options.
That's like old time Netflix when you would get a disc in the mail. You're like, I want to watch this, and you would hold on to it for a moment. Like, I'm never watching it and send it back.
Does Netflix still have that?
They spun that disc business off as Quickster. Remember?
Yeah, but then they go back to
And
Netflix with it.
I don't know if I doubt Quickster even exists.
I don't think it even worked. I think they just went straight back to calling it Netflix.
Well, no, they spun it off. It was two different companies.
Yeah, but didn't they unsplit it off? Did they actually go ahead with Quickster?
Well, it's dead. It died. It's launched in 2011 and died in 2011.
Yeah, that's fine.
Is Netflix okay?
no,
They're not. They're not okay, are they?
no,
There's been some bad news for Netflix.
no.
lately.
They're not okay. They're popping their bubble.
Tanking, man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's not.
which
great.
sucks for a lot of filmmakers out there who
Yeah.
are getting a lot of their projects canceled.
Oh shit! I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, they saw their first subscriber lost.
Yeah.
I was reading.
I wonder if that's just because there's so many options now that people are choosing not to.
There's a little bit of that. It's like competitive area. But
Yeah.
I was reading an interesting article about why a bunch of CW shows that were long running got just all of a sudden canceled, and it's part of like the Warner Discovery thing. But it was because a little known fact about a lot of these shows, like Legends of Tomorrow and stuff like that, was that they weren't really finding success here in America. They had a lot more foreign success, and so that's where they were making their money, and it's the reason why they were getting remade. But then with the merger, that deal, like with Netflix was basically taking them to foreign markets. That deal broke, and so now they can't sell those shows to the foreign markets, so then there's no reason to make them for here because not enough people here will watch them. So
Oh, that's interesting.
So a lot of fans of these shows, like, why all of a sudden are these shows going away? It's because of that whole like loss of a contract.
That's fucking wild.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Gav, have you talked about Severance on any Achievement Hunter content?
No.
So I have a bone to pick.
You and me both, Barbara. You and me both.
With the
I wonder
show,
I wonder if it's for the same thing.
Probably.
So
Please go ahead.
Every now and then I'll pop into our subreddit, see what's going on. And I saw a thread that just said Severance. And I opened the thread and it said, yo, I just want to shout out Gavin for recommending Severance. Like, it's really good. And he's like, they were like, he was really right. Like,
Yeah.
it is wild. And I was
When
like,
did I talk about it?
That's what I wondered.
I don't know. Maybe you mentioned that it was good too.
I think
fair,
you mentioned when you finished it, you're like, yeah, it was good. I turned it on and I watched it this weekend after we'd been talking about it for weeks.
I
Yeah, I
honestly
mean, you
give
know.
Gus credit because I think
Different
I was-
channels, different audience. I assume it's in a very conversational Let's Play or something that.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I don't really care. It's just funny
Well,
that I'm
Barbara,
just
it
like,
sounds
well, me and Gus were watching it first.
Yeah, I was like,
That's the sound of someone who doesn't care.
Yeah, Barbara definitely got me to watch Severance.
Severance.
Gus got me.
Because every time I
good.
saw it,
Sold
I'd
it
be
to
like,
me
watch it, watch it, watch
so
it, watch
good.
it, watch it, watch it.
There was Severance was really good. There was another Apple TV Plus show that was on. I guess it just wrapped up the other week called Pachinko. I don't know if anybody watched Pachinko.
It's still on my list.
Pachinko is really
Okay,
good.
good. Because I was hoping it wasn't going to be like a bummer.
Apple TV has had a lot of swinging hits lately.
It's good. They don't have a ton of programming, but I feel like the programming they do have is for the most part pretty good.
And it's got iPhones in it and stuff, and MacBooks.
Yeah, just,
Oh, I didn't
just like
even
my
think
life. But Pachinko's about. It's like a multi-generational story. It's actually kind of complicated, but it's interesting because the dialogue in that movie is presented in Japanese and Korean. So it's like the subtitles are different colors depending on what language is being
They
spoken.
did that in the Handmaiden.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, they did as well. Yeah.
Because they say it like at the top of the film, like
Yeah.
that's what's going to. It was like, oh, never experienced that before.
Do you know what pisses me right off through the roof hole? Is on an HDR TV, sometimes the subtitles are too bright.
Wow.
What a
Pisses him right off through the roof hole.
Do you need some time off to like recover from this?
Is it like
Sometimes I'm just like, because I like to watch stuff with subtitles on. If it's like the first episode or something, I like to just like read everyone's
Gavin,
names.
Yeah.
I can't watch stuff without the subtitles
Yeah.
now. Like that
don't-
is now.
I don't
Default.
like to watch comedies with a subtitle on because
It ruins the joke.
Sometimes
Gets away
I
with the joke.
subconsciously read ahead and I'm like, oh, the delivery was funnier than me reading it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy subtitles, but for some reason they're really bright on my telly, and I've got to like do this sometimes.
Is there no setting
Is-
you could change that?
I was
I don't
thinking
know how
is,
to separate
is
it out from the rest of the picture.
maybe your subtitles HDR content and the video is an SDR
I
content
don't know,
or
but
something.
it's probably that stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be something like that.
I feel like I want to rewatch Game of Thrones with the subtitles on.
Yeah, it's
'Cause
very
I've
helpful.
missed so many names of things on that show. But yeah, like for knowing names or like places or
Game of Thrones is probably what I think when I started doing that, because it's just like the
Yeah.
first episode has like
Who?
28
What?
characters in it.
Yeah.
And some names are very similar, and you have to like read the difference because you
Oh,
can't
was
hear
it? They renamed Theon's sister in the show, but in the book, her name is like almost identical to another character's name,
Yeah, it's like Osha and
Asha.
Osha.
thank God they didn't leave it that way on the
Yeah,
TV show.
so they changed her name to Yara in the TV show to try to differentiate it.
Yara.
The next book's never coming out, right? We're never.
Wasn't he talking about it in the news recently?
Was he?
Yeah.
What did he say?
I don't know. Showed up on my feed. I didn't care. I
thought-
didn't read them, so I was like, I'm
I
not
thought
clicking
you
on this
said,
news article.
Showed him my feet. I didn't care.
Yeah. Showed George R. R. Martin my feet.
He didn't care. He didn't even
Listen,
pay.
he's been busy working on one of the best video games ever, and so you can just wait in line. Okay?
Speaking of books, I know none of you guys will care about this, and
You
only
finished the
maybe
book?
like 10 people in our audience will care. But I finished the first A Court of Thorns and Roses. Fantastic.
Woo!
I'm already reading the second one on my newly acquired Kindle.
What is
That's me putting on my glasses.
what is this?
How many books are there? I think you told us before. Okay, yeah,
I think
five.
there are 5.
There's a lot of books in the world.
I posted about finishing the first book, and I got a message from Mariel being like, "The 5th book is porn. Read the Bible instead." But yeah, they apparently get smuttier and smuttier as time goes on. The first book was very much like young adult.
Bit of
refined.
Yes, there was like one little sexy scene, another like also little sexy scene, but nothing super graphic.
This is gonna get worse and worse.
So I'm just
I've
I'm
never
ready,
made
baby.
I've never read a book that was like porn.
like a romance novel or like a
Yeah.
smutty novel.
Like I never read something and thought, "For, I'm good to go."
Is that the sound of you turned on? Is that the sound? Is that?
That's what he says. 4. That's why they call it foreplay.
No, it was 4.
Something I do find
PHW.
funny about this book series
Ooh.
is that like part of the lore of this is like it's about fairies, but spelled like Faer. So
Yeah.
it's like different types of fairies and stuff like that. The main character's name is Feyre.
Feyre the fairy.
Feyre.
Favor the
She's
favor.
a human.
That's like a person being called Humie.
But you just said that they're a human. They're not actually a fairy.
Yeah, she's a human.
Oh.
But it's just funny that like, oh, so a book about fairies and there's a character named Feyre. Like, thank you. Could have been anything else.
The author just had that letter combination on the like in the brain.
In the brain,
It's
yeah.
stuck. I've been reading a book too.
Brag about it.
Oh, do you have it with you? Oh my God.
I'm studying for my pilot exam.
Wow, you
Wow.
you have like fucking little
You
notes
couldn't get
in
that
there?
on a Kindle?
I have a digital version on an iPad as well.
Huh.
For searchability.
Is there a chapter on fairies?
There is no chapter on fairies. There's a chapter on ELT, lights, oxygen, in-op equipment, TCAS, and ADSB.
What's the main character?
Riveting. Pilot.
Could I see it? Can I see the book?
Oh, Pontius?
Pontius Pilot.
This is heavy.
That is a honker.
Oh my God. I'm going to read one thing.
Oh God.
Here it is.
It's all like regulations and law.
Relocation of a threshold.
Please tell.
Sometimes construction, maintenance, or other activities require the threshold to be relocated towards the rollout
You're
end of the runway.
You're reading the airport operations section of the Aeronautical Information Manual. That's
which
AIM.
page?
I believe that would be AIM 416 maybe? In the upper right of the page, it'll say.
233.
233, okay.
This is like when Andy Kaufman would pull out and read Great Gatsby in the middle of a show just to piss off his audience.
Oh, my markers. See, and then if you flip through it, you'll see pages and sections
Yeah.
where I put like
Did
little
you-
orange markers.
Did you put all these on here?
Yeah, and sometimes there's occasional notes for like stuff I need to
Wait, all the shit that's
remember.
sticking out you
yeah.
did? Did you
Oh
like
my
get a label
God.
maker for that?
No, you can buy those.
Why are some of the pages stuck together?
He's really
Listen,
likes
by
to
the time you
study.
get to the end of the book, it gets really smutty.
Smut. That's great.
Gus
got-
has
I've-
his books. I have mine.
What are you reading,
I've got my
Gavin?
final exam coming up in a couple weeks. I'm trying to get ready.
Oh shit, dude.
What am I reading?
Got to be reading something.
Oh, I was reading the instruction manual for my printer because
Because printers
it
are
doesn't-
garbage.
It doesn't stay a printer.
It transforms
What does it
because
turn
the
into?
Allspark.
No, if I print, I think I got into this on Bleepface recently, but yeah, if I print something and then don't use it for a week, it doesn't do anything after that, and then I have to connect it to the Wi-Fi, type in the password, and I'm
It's like
trying
it
to
just
read in the
resets
manual.
itself?
How do I get it to stay a printer when I walk away from it
Yeah.
and not become something that takes up quite a lot of my
Is
desk?
this an HP by any chance?
It is not.
I've been having that trouble with my printer.
I think
recently
everyone has
bought.
that.
They're
problem
all
with every-
garbage. All printers
printers
are
suck.
fucking garbage.
I don't own one.
That's why whenever someone sends me like something to sign, whether it's like a form to fill out or like a contract to sign, I'm like, could I get the digital version so I don't have to like figure out how to print this out, sign it, somehow scan it back to you?
Your phone can do it.
You can't.
I'm going to resort to wiring it in. Just going to have to
I
Ethernet.
have a Wi-Fi printer. I have a USB cable sticking out of the back in case it disconnects itself from the Wi-Fi. I have the same problem. Yeah, you can do scanning to a limited. Yeah,
I
you
know
can
you could.
scan.
If you print something out, you could scan it with your phone.
Yeah.
And it,
Yeah.
like,
I
but
scan tons of stuff on my
but
phone.
the printing out of it is the annoying
I'm
part. 'cause
struggling
my
to
printer's
print
shit.
across VLANs, and I haven't tried modulating the subnet yet. But
Yeah,
VLAN
that's
sounds
that's
like-
probably a net mask issue, or maybe you don't have appropriate permissions
This
to
is
not cross
not
your VLAN.
English.
This is
if we had a podcast together, you and me, Gus, like you and Jeff have one, I think it should be called subnet modulation.
Who do you think Jeff is going to make the next podcast he makes with?
me, and we're going to talk about comic books.
I don't think he'll do that one.
No, he
Barbara's
won't.
fingers crossed.
Well,
Are
come
you
on.
trying to get Jeff for one?
I mean, yes and no. We've talked about doing like a reality show podcast for a while.
He's just a slut for podcasts.
I know, but I'm jealous now because now everyone has podcasts with him except me.
Not
well,
everyone.
I guess
just,
I
We
am.
recorded
just Jack, Gus, and Gav.
we recorded Anma episode 4 this morning. This is my second podcast of the day.
Yeah.
I keep having to separate my brain. It's like
You need severance.
Anma is the past.
You do need
RT
severance.
podcast is the present. And like I would start saying stuff when the Anma recording, be like, no, wait, that's a podcast story.
Presently, if we were in a fictitious world where you, Gustavo Sorola, were hosting a drive-in theater experience for your birthday, and you got to pick the movie, what would it be?
If I got to pick the movie, that's a really good
Got to
question.
force all your friends
Jackie
to
Brown.
watch it. Jackie Brown.
It probably wouldn't be Jackie Brown. That is an excellent choice, though. I don't know, man. You put me on the spot here. Hey, it might be. You know what? It would probably be Rushmore.
Really?
Yeah.
I guess it's like what strategy do you go with? Do you go with something that you like or that you think everyone's gonna like?
I think Blaine did both, or was attempting both.
I think he picked something that he liked, but he knew people would have like dumb fun watching.
Sure.
Not necessarily like the greatest movie of all time, which I think is a good strategy for like a fun drive-in. What would you pick, John?
King Arthur, Legend of the Sword.
A movie that nobody will have fun with.
I would pick The Mask.
Oh,
Or-
Mask is such a good choice.
Or like any Jim Carrey movie.
It holds up.
It's what's my favorite movie.
It holds up. It's so good. It's full of so much heart.
I love it so much. Now I want to do that. Let's do another drive-in.
Drive-in mask.
King
Yeah.
Arthur, Legend of the Sword, 31% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, it's pretty hated.
What's The Mask?
I'm looking it up. The Mask is tough to gauge, though, because
Older ones.
it predates the existence of the platform.
Yeah.
Oh, so people have to actually
Right, so
actively
it's got
go back
80%.
It doesn't say it's like the older movies like get a bit of a harsher score because people. It's
Yeah.
only people that will go back and do that.
We rewatched the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie the other night.
Yeah.
I love that movie
Quality.
so much.
It's good.
That was one of my favorite movies too, watching it for the first time. I felt like that is such a well-rounded movie.
I felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, it was like a
Well,
stupid ride at Disney, and
came-
they made a movie out of it?
It came out of nowhere to a degree, but it was at the butt end of Disney trying to make that happen. Turn rides into movies. They did it with Haunted Mansion, with Eddie Murphy, and that one was fine. It was like a family movie. It wasn't terrible, but wasn't good and didn't do anything for them. They tried Country Bear Jamboree, and no one went and saw
They
that.
did a movie for that?
They totally did.
Never heard of that.
Yeah,
I know.
full on like animatronic, not animatronic, but like puppeteer costumes, like people in full body costumes as the with robotic like
Holy
mouths.
crap,
and
this
stuff.
came out in 2002?
Yeah.
What would you pick, Gav?
And then Pirates happened, and Pirates is what
Pirates
like
worked.
They stopped and just went with Pirates.
I probably picked The Thing.
The Thing? You'd pick a horror?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Is it horror?
100%.
I would call it a horror.
It's
Oh, all right.
it's full of
Yeah,
I guess
absolutely.
like
What would
a-
you...
Like action thriller, maybe would be the
it's a
closest.
romantic
I mean,
comedy.
it's not very scary.
That's a lot of.
It's pretty intense.
It's got a lot of body horror.
Got
Yeah,
a
it's
lot of
got a
like
lot-
things popping out at
It's
you.
got, the occasional head falls off and walks away. It's not that scary.
Occasional one.
Christopher Walken was in the Country Bear Jamboree.
That guy works.
Oh, wait, no, this is the Country Bears. Is this
Oh.
it? Yeah, this is it.
Yeah.
Country Bear Jamboree.
I mean, when Disney calls you and says, "Hey, you want this big check to be in a silly movie with us?" I mean, you probably say yeah.
Budget, 35 million. Box office,
18.
18 million.
Yeah.
John knew that off the top of his head.
I feel like John is the movie, TV show, comic book knowledge wealth person.
Well, if you don't date people, you have a lot of time to just.
But you have been dating people, someone, for a while.
Yeah.
Right? You've talked about having a girlfriend before, right? Am I
Oh
not-
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
We've been dating for a few years now. But
Okay.
I'm saying like
Congrats.
2002. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Oh, early John.
I'm saying 2002, John definitely wasn't dating. That's a graduating high school John. So no, but he also knew not to go see the Country Bear movie because it looked bad.
Did the effects hold up in the first Pirates?
Yeah, I think so.
Is that the one? Is that the one where he just like steps off the boat as it
yes.
sinks?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite.
That's like his
scene in
introduction,
Yeah.
right?
any
That's
of
like the
those
first
films.
scene he's in.
With
That's
the theme
so
song
cool.
and everything.
There's
Such
also
a baller bit.
I also love the scene where, and you know the premise of the first movie where the people who stole the gold from the chest, when they're in the moonlight, they're
Skeletons.
where they're going underwater.
You're in one.
One's-
They're in one.
Where
Jeffrey
they're walking
Rush?
underwater
Yeah.
to ambush the opposing people. And they're walking underwater and they're like under the boat and they're like human and they come from out the boat, but they're still underwater and they turn into skeletons. And the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, skeletons wouldn't be sinking to the bottom of the water here.
Why
Neither
not?
would humans because they're not heavy enough.
I thought
They're
they
literally
would
walking
more
on the
likely
bottom
sink
of the
'cause they
water.
got no lung bags.
Yeah, wouldn't bones just sink to the bottom?
I don't think so.
Do bones float?
Bones float.
Isn't that? Doesn't that have Gareth?
No, they
from-
do not.
They
Bones are
don't.
denser than water.
Then what?
That's why there's always skeletons at the bottom of the ocean and stuff.
Corpses float because
Because they have.
of the flesh, but bones sink to the bottom.
Dude, my mind is blown right now. The whole time I'm
think
like, these
we're learning
skeletons
stuff.
wouldn't be
I think
walking on the surface of the ocean.
The River
Bullshit.
Thames would be a different story if bones floated, I think.
Yikes.
I love that film for many reasons, but it got me to pay attention to Keira Knightley, who's one of my favorite actresses now.
And Gareth from The Office is in it.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Gareth in The Office. I remember
I didn't
seeing
even
this. Like,
think
look,
about
there he is.
British Dwight.
Keira Knightley is
got
one
a
of the
wooden
best
eye.
mouth actors. Keira Knightley. All of this.
Yeah, she's a lot of teeth,
Lot
but
of
she's so
bottom
good.
teeth.
I love her
She's
so much.
great. Yeah.
She's fantastic, and she loves to even make fun of herself. I loved when she was on the press tour of like the Last Kingdom or Final Kingdom or something like that. It's a medieval, like King Arthur-y kind of thing, and she poked fun at the action figure they made of her. They gave her bigger boobs than
Oh,
the
yeah.
action figure, and she herself was like on press tour, just being like, "This is absurd." I was like, "That's fantastic."
Not so much making fun of herself as it is like making
but
fun
also
of
like undercutting the
system, yeah.
merchandise of the film that she's supposed to be promoting. It's a pretty baller move, in my opinion.
Right. Well, you gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah, she's just like, "This is stupid."
Well, that's a good question in chat. Overseer 06. Do blones.
Wanna try that
Blones.
again? Want to try that again?
Take two.
Overseer did not write blones. Do bones float on lava?
Oh, do they?
There's
They
no
have
way.
to, right?
Bones are less dense than rocks. And I think we determined that rocks float on lava.
Stuff can float on lava, just not very long. It then just becomes lava.
I feel like it would it would be melted by the lava very quickly.
Yeah.
Right?
I like that with Survive Block Island, that I realized as catching up on Survive Block Island, because I'm watching it too, because there's a whole ton of it that I didn't experience, is that as I'm watching it, because I was on the teams that were winning basically the majority of the
Brag
beginning of the
about it.
game. Yeah, I will.
Maybe
You were
that
on my
would-
team. I came to your team and helped you out.
Yeah.
I'm not really in the show. I'm like in the show for a long time, but I'm not really in the edit
Yeah.
because all the like juicy stuff that like gets into the edit is a lot of the like discourse that happens after the competitions and the
Yeah, because
scheming.
if you win, you don't have to go to the chopping
No,
block. So
and the
there's
whole
no
and the
discussion. of it.
chopping block is like a whole like scene as well. And so I'm not in very much, but there's like a few nuggets of like lines they've pulled out, and I like that one of mine is, does anybody else ever look at lava and think they want to eat it? Because I think that's fun.
they did include that one. I remember us talking about that one time of like, what's the most like
It looks yummy.
edible looking thing you're not supposed to eat?
Forbidden snack.
It's
Yeah.
glowing. It's like gooey.
I've never looked at lava and thought that looks like I want to eat it.
It looks good.
It looks like
especially if it's got like that dark crust on
little
it, and you
crust?
break it off, and then it's like
Yeah.
all orange and warm on the inside.
Are you, Eric? Are you on the delicious
Are you
lava?
talking about real lava?
No,
Yeah.
this is crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I would. I'm
But it
saying,
just
but
I don't
looks
think
edible.
That you could, but
I'm not saying either. But I'm saying, does anybody else look and be like, I wish I could?
no.
I've seen
Yeah.
this echoed on the internet before. Like
What?
people saying like lava looks like
It would
I
be
want to
good.
eat it.
Yeah.
I'm never going to, but I want to eat it.
It's like watching the Rock Eater from Neverending Story. You ever watch that and be like, yeah, I wish I could eat rocks. Looks like he's really enjoying that
Okay, you
limestone
lost
right
me.
now.
No.
What?
You lost me on that one. I just want to eat lava. I don't want to eat a rock. I want to eat a melted
I'm
rock,
saying-
not an actual.
I'm
hard
saying the Rock Eater from Neverending Story made rocks look numbers.
But what did he drink?
Lava.
Lava. He probably did.
I always
He was
Rock
living the
based
life.
diet.
I think if I could eat something that isn't food, I think the drippy sap that goes over the mosquito in Jurassic Park. If that tastes
The amber?
yeah, it looks like
Oh.
it tastes like honey or something.
It does look nice.
Yeah.
That's a nice little popsicle of that.
Yeah.
Little lollipop.
Just take Hammond's staff and
That's
treat it like a lollipop.
You just
My
cut the
teeth.
Hammond every once in a while. He's just
like
licking on it.
gnawing on it.
Barbara, anything you would eat that's not food? Like these crazy people?
So many things.
Oh, yeah?
Where do I start? I used to think that not the back of a pencil eraser, but the little erasers you would use. I used to want to eat those.
Like the rectangular ones?
Yeah, those used to look like they would be yummy. But then when you smell them, you're like, never mind.
Yeah.
There's been some other things. I feel like people should put them in chat because I'm having a hard time remembering all the things. But I remember there was one time I think a poll or something I saw where it had like 4 different things, and I was like, delicious, 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 delicious.
A poll?
There was a poll someone put out of like
Forbidden snacks.
forbidden snacks, basically like what is the most appetizing to you? What of these non-edible things seems the most edible? And lava was one of them.
Yeah.
That
You've
a
never
lot
had
of
that
people
with
voted
anything,
on.
Eric?
There's
You have to say that one more time. What?
Have you ever, if you never thought that looks good enough to eat?
I mean, maybe.
There's a whole subreddit for it, by the way.
Really? What is it?
Forbidden snacks.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Leave a comment about whatever your forbidden snack is, you little freak. If you're watching this.
The problem,
Gross.
I'll tell you what one of the forbidden snacks is. Maybe you'll agree with this one. There's like a home cleaning product that's popular in Mexico called Fabuloso.
I know
It
Fabuloso.
looks like a fucking delicious juice.
What does it?
All right, let's get some picture up.
Yeah, what does it look like?
Fabuloso.
I mean, a lot of
looks
cleaning
like
products look yummy.
If you had a grape juice or something like that, it's
Ooh.
pretty perfect.
Yeah.
Oh.
It even looks like it's in a, because it's always in those like refillable jugs. And it looks like it should
God,
just be,
it looks
That's so vibrant.
It
looks
looks like it would be
fabuloso.
delicious.
be next to Mott's apple juice or something.
All this liquid talk, and I drank this so fast. I have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to happen. Like,
Can I go pee?
yeah,
You can
go
go
for
pee.
it.
Teacher? BRB.
Should we sit in silence?
Sit in absolute silence. Turn. Oh, I was going to say turn your mic off. She doesn't have a mic. I think I was thinking of the beans episode last week. I
I was upset about that episode
why?
because I like beans on toast as well, and I thought he screwed it up.
He did screw it up. You're right, John. He
Like,
did screw
like
it
it's a
up.
legitimate, and it's also like you can,
Eric, sit in the chair. This
the duck.
concerns you.
you can like,
John has things to say
well,
about.
you can find the proper beans in so many places.
He went to 2 places.
What does that mean?
I
I
mean,
couldn't find the
What does
proper
it
beans. Is
mean?
that what you
what does it mean? It means I don't think you looked hard enough.
For beans?
Yeah, for the proper.
I think
beans.
I think I looked for the adequate right amount of time for the amount of work that I have to fucking do here to look for beans, John. So I think that I did a great job, and you're welcome for the bean off.
Here's why I don't feel bad, Eric,
Yeah.
about all the things you have to do. Obviously now you're Rooster Teeth Eric, but we had to put up with Mega 64 Eric
Right.
for multiple years. So whenever you're like, oh, I didn't have time to get the right beans, so I got shitty beans. I've got too much to do. I don't feel bad, and I don't think I ever will.
I don't understand. Put up with Mega 64 Eric? I liked that Eric. What was wrong with that Eric?
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
when,
Well, that's
when
Fabuloso.
those booths were bordering, those days got real long.
So you're talking about convention.
Convention
Mega
Mega 64 Eric is, we've lived through it.
Conventions are, in general, just especially when the way we would do it, where you're there like 8 hours a day, 10 hours a day. Like that's a grind.
I
you
had
know.
so much fun being next to Mega 64 at conventions. That was like a highlight.
Yeah.
Especially when you guys would do dance parties.
You didn't
And then we
leave
would
with the
join in.
headache?
No,
Never.
it was fun.
Just you and the guy who's not here anymore.
You're next.
Just you and the guy who's not here anymore. What a
They were
way.
great. Conventions were easy. You can scream at people. No one does anything. Those are awesome.
Yeah, I remember my
Fantastic.
favorite part is when they would open the doors the first day. And of course, people are excited to be there, so they're like running in. And Eric would just be like, "No running!
Yeah,
Stop,
me
you!"
and Sean would tell people not to run, and they go, "Oh," and they start walking. So that was
Are you talking like specifically like RTX?
No, like
Any convention?
PAX.
Yeah.
Oh, so
PAX,
you'd
Comic-Con.
be at the booth before they open,
Yeah,
and
because
they'd
we'd be the exhibitors there.
That's funny.
I think there was legitimately a time where I probably went out the night before, back when I was young, and
You think so?
and I was waking up the next day, got to be back at the booth, and I was going to the booth, and I thought, Eric's probably going to be next to us. I'm going to get a coffee real quick. I need to be able to keep up.
And now you do a podcast with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we
Welcome to
work
it.
together every week
Yeah.
without fail.
I think
lot.
there was one year
I
we
like
were
it, actually.
back to back our booths. I want to say it was like PAX
It was
West.
PAX West, God, 2012
Oh yeah.
or something, and it was like right behind.
Maybe
yeah.
2013.
Yeah, something like that.
And you got back to back, and I remember we kept tossing things over at each other.
Forgot about that.
Good
That's back when they
times.
put us up like on the top floor,
Yeah.
right, of that convention center.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like that. Remember when we were on the main floor and,
Yeah, and then they
there
put
wasn't a
us-
lot going on PAX, and then they went, "Here's the 6th floor. Fuck you."
Yeah.
And it was like, all right, thank you.
Wait, the main floor costs a lot.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Microsoft wants more booth space, so you can lay in the broom closet, idiot. It was fun. Conventions were easy. Conventions were like never. It's you just have to. I think that's where you learn to like not overdo it, but it takes a lot of practice, like at night, to like not go too far, so that way you have energy for like the next day, or you're fucked.
We've been talking about some plans for RTX this year. One thing I'm really excited for, I'm not going to give it away, but Good Morning from Hell is going to be doing something at RTX this year, which is going to be probably my favorite thing at the whole event. I don't know if Blaine and Chris have talked to you guys about it, but
I've heard. I've been
be really
in the room
great.
with some of the planning.
We're also going to do
July 1st to 3rd.
We're going to do an Always Open panel at RTX. So if you like Always Open, me and Mariel and some other guests are going to be doing it there.
Are you going to be reading from your book?
All the things.
All your smut.
Book of Smut.
My book of smut.
RTXevent.com. Tickets available now, or badges, whatever you want to call them. July 1st to 3rd this summer. It's soon. That's like a month and a half away.
Yeah.
It's real soon. So yeah, go there, buy a ticket, come see us, say hi.
Yay. Come hang out. A lot of fun stuff happening that weekend.
Is there a circle in that QR code?
Yeah, in the middle.
Do they all have that?
You can do whatever you want in a QR code.
That's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Ever.
Yeah, since the podcast started, probably. No, actually, I saw that purple cleaning. No.
Fabuloso is better than that QR code.
Your life is defined by when you first saw Fabuloso. There's BF and then there's AF.
Love it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised you never see it. I feel like you can find that in lots of stores here in the Austin area.
You can also find Heinz beans in a lot of stores in the Austin area.
That's very true. Almost an abundance of this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. Nope.
Are you on mic?
You're not even on mic.
Not worth it.
He's just going to argue with you from the dark.
Yeah, it's fine.
Hey, thanks for inviting me to your birthday. I had a good time.
Jeff texted Gavin, and he's like, "Hey, are you going to Eric's birthday thing?" And Gavin said, "I don't know what that is."
And then like an hour later, I get a message from Eric. Hey, come! I didn't think you. And I was like, now I'm being guilt invited.
Like,
I mean, you went anyway, knowing you were being guilt invited.
I told him, I absolutely would. Here's what I told Gavin straight up. I absolutely would have invited you if I would have thought that you would want to be on this boat for 4 hours. But I thought there's no fucking way you would want to be on this boat for 4 hours.
And I appreciate that because on paper you're right. But then because you said that, I had to go out of spite. I had to go. So
That's the way to get you to go to things.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad I went. That was the most fun I've had on a weekend in
It was very fun.
forever.
Wait, are you saying you didn't have fun hanging out with me and Trevor the day before?
That was really fun.
That was also a weekend.
Yeah.
Just
But
kidding.
did it have slides?
It didn't.
There you go.
It didn't.
I liked when we would slide down the slide onto the lily pad and just sort of skim it.
At one point, and this is definitely after I'd had 2 White Claws, I decided to wrestle Blaine on that.
How'd that end?
I was upside down a little bit underwater. So
Oh, is that what that sound was?
did you hear it?
It was like kind of slightly early on into maybe like the first hour and a half or
Oh no,
something.
this was like way at the end.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I just remember I heard a lot of thrashing.
That's what you do when you get alcohol in you.
He used to wrestle me.
Yeah,
You
it's
wrestle
fun.
people.
It's fun. Well, you sort of start. It's like what Jeremy used to do. He'd just like look at me and like squat down.
Squat
I'd be
down
like,
a little.
Oh, we're wrestling.
You
It's
know
like
it's
like
time.
when you're approaching like a pet and you're trying to get that posture that gets them like in like the playful like you're like get that and the pet goes
It's on. It's time.
yeah
Like you're about to tickle him.
and they,
I regret not using that slide though.
You didn't do it on the slide.
I didn't use the slide. Because I'm someone who likes to tenderly and gently get into the water. Because
Well,
it's
at first,
cold.
sure.
tenderly and gently.
But once
Yes.
you're in,
I never warmed up. Everyone's like, you get used to it. I never got used to it. I was cold the whole time. And so I went back in the boat.
it was like
It was like 100 degrees.
Yeah, it was 38 degrees Celsius.
And a lake? The lake was pretty chilly still.
I mean, like outside.
Yeah. No, that's
Oh,
why
yeah,
I
the
kept
lake
going
wasn't.
back in the water every few minutes. Also, I didn't want to get back in the water because I knew in 5 minutes the guy would be like, we're moving. We got to get back on the boat. And all the effort it took for me to get in the water would now be just undone immediately.
We really did a lot too. It was like throwing a ball off, like trying to catch a ball and doing a jump. Do a flip, catch these 2 balls. Like there was a
Yeah,
lot going on.
I think without exaggeration, I jumped or slid into the water maybe 50 to 60
Oh,
times.
yeah,
At least.
absolutely.
It's
Well,
very
that's what it's there
impressive.
for.
Yeah,
You caught a couple balls too midair.
I did. I feel like it's like a kid's birthday, like talking about all the slides we went down. And then I jumped and I caught the ball.
And then I
have to
wrestled
say,
my friend.
I think Gavin is the most athletic, unathletic person I know. where it's like I don't know you as someone who's athletic and like plays sports and does all that stuff or like goes to the gym or lifts weights, but you're so athletic in these like small random ways. Like you'll do a bunch of flips and be able to catch shit, and I don't know.
I can get by.
That to me is Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff
Jeff is like
baseball.
weirdly athletic, and he's not a guy who strikes me as that at all.
Yeah.
What way? I can believe that about Gavin because I've seen Gavin move. I haven't seen Jeff move.
Jeff like hits home runs and
Okay,
like,
so that's what
we
you're
saw
that's
him,
what you're designating as athletic.
perfectly
Okay.
dive off the top of the boat, like jump and like touch his toes and like jackknife perfect dive in the water.
Okay, that is
and we all
impressive.
stood there and went, "Wow,
He
that
dove
was really incredible."
He dove through that little inflatable
Yeah.
ring.
like head first. It was like insane.
Yeah.
And he just went, "Oh, I thought everyone could do that."
He also
That
bikes.
sounds crazy to
a
me.
lot.
Yeah.
He
Well,
doesn't he bike like 20 miles?
Yeah, but it's an
every
electric
weekend?
bike, so it kind of does the work for him.
Yeah, I didn't know that the first time he said that. I was like, that's far. And then even the first time I saw him biking, like I actually ran into him biking when I was biking, and he wasn't even dressed for 20 miles. He was wearing like pants and like a flannel, and I was like in full booty shorts and tank top. I was like, Jesus Christ. And then I figured out his thing was electric bike.
Yeah.
Not to like undercut. It's still a little bit
It's
of a
still
work,
exercise.
but that definitely does it.
I haven't.
Now I want to take Jeff climbing. I want to see Jeff on a wall.
He
I wonder
honestly,
if he would do that.
he probably would.
Could we? Hey, how do we incorporate that into Fuckface?
Ask him. It's not my show. It's his show.
How do we get Jeff to go climbing with John because it's a Fuckface?
I
thing?
think you get
You do-
Jeff and Gavin to go climbing together.
That's what I'm curious too.
Is
But I
to
don't think I could ever
do-
unless I got him to do that out of spite.
Fuckface break shit. It's an arm.
Yeah.
You're not gonna break your arm climbing.
Don't look at Blaine.
Blaine broke his muscle.
Muscle.
Because Blaine,
Which is part of his arm.
But when someone breaks their arm, that's not what you're referencing.
The bit that breaks sinks.
I want more people to go climbing with me. I'm always climbing by myself.
I have an e-bike and I use it not to like Jeff extent, like not 20 miles or anything like that, but I'll use it a little bit. And whenever I'm biking around, like most of the time I'll use like the electric function on it.
I can't even visualize Gus on a bicycle.
But when
I
I get
can.
close to people who are like walking, I'll like stop using the electric part and then like do the pedal assist and act like I'm pedaling. And then once I'm past them, I just start using the electric part again. I don't know why. It's like a subconscious thing.
That's hilarious.
Have you ever been
You're
jogging
embarrassed.
in public before, and whenever you pass people, you jog a little better?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Like
Want to impress people.
I've gone through phases where I do a lot more jogging, but I'm not like someone who can just keep going for forever and that
Yeah.
kind of thing. And so I often like stop and walk, but then I have to like strategize that if I see someone ahead of me, I'm like, okay, so if I start jogging, I need to not only be able to pass them, but get far enough ahead of them they can't see me anymore when I stop.
Yeah.
So it's like it's so dumb. Whereas I should just be able to stop if I want to stop. But nope, not how brain work.
Not how brain works.
Yeah, I did a thing once where I was on the Golden Gate Bridge with Meg, and she's like quite good at running, and I hate running. I think it's crap and boring, and I hate it. And
You were doing
hurts.
it a little bit for a while. I think mostly for her it seemed maybe.
Yeah, and so we like went all the way down the bridge, and then she wanted to run back, and I was like, God no.
It's a long
I'll
bridge.
see you at the other end.
It's a long bridge.
And I was
Yeah.
walking, and as she was like just disappearing off into the fog of people and
San
mist,
Francisco.
miles down the bridge, I just thought, oh, it'd be really funny if I beat her though to the end of the bridge.
Did you just start running?
So I just started hauling ass across the bridge, and I actually caught up to her, and I don't think she's ever been so surprised.
Yeah.
It would have been
You know,
funny if you had managed to get an Uber to pick you up
I
and then
should've
take
done
you to
that.
the other end of the bridge, get out, and just be standing there waiting for her and be like, what took you so
Yeah,
long?
man, you're really slow turning. Come on, pick up the pace.
But it sucked because she was already running, and I had to then run faster than she was running to.
yeah.
You got to close the distance and then.
Yeah.
Oh, what's this?
Look at that little bike
Is
boy.
that you,
That's
Gus?
me. Yeah,
Look
Eric
at that
took that
bike
picture.
boy
Where is this?
with a water bottle for scale.
Oh, that's during the recording for Anma.
Oh, gotcha. Look at you go. With your helmet? Good. I'm glad you're being safe.
Yeah, got to be safe. Got to protect my giant head.
Gotta wear a helmet.
The Golden Gate Bridge is almost 9,000 feet long. So that's close close to 2 miles.
Miserable, and the pieces of it are massive, so you don't. It doesn't feel like you're getting any closer to any of it. It's
That's
like,
true. I'm with you, though. I hate running.
What?
I hate running so much.
Big stuff
why-
takes longer to get to.
I still don't know.
It's like
what the
you don't
hell
see
you're-
any change in the scale.
Yeah.
So it doesn't seem
Like,
like,
if
you're
you
moving
start a
relatively.
What
mile
is the
away-
things that need to change in scale?
Like
The
getting
pi-
closer to you.
The pylons of the bridge, yeah.
Like the big bits that hold the bridge up.
And so you expect
Painted
Because
in
like when you're
international orange.
running, you want it. It's getting closer to you as you're getting closer
Right.
to it. So you expect it to get like
Bigger.
bigger, but it's so big
Yeah.
that you can't
Like
even.
start a mile away from the Eiffel Tower. It's big already, and then you have to run a mile to get to it. It's massive. You feel like you're making no progress.
Yeah, I think we're all with you except John.
I don't understand how you can't just see something and go, it's that big, so it's gonna get bigger as I go for it. But
It doesn't really
But
get
most
any
things
bigger.
aren't that big. Like a tree isn't that big.
I don't understand.
I'm with you, Gav.
I don't understand.
This is, I think, the first time the majority of us have been with
I'm
Gavin.
fine being on my own
hell
little
yeah.
raft of not understanding, but I don't understand. You think that they were going to get bigger faster as you run towards them, but they don't, so then it feels longer.
Yeah, because you can see it from so much further away in great detail.
It's 746 feet tall.
That's pretty tall.
That's
for a
big.
thing.
But I look at buildings all the time.
But you're not running to them.
Yeah, but I do.
Yeah, but most buildings that big have buildings all around.
There's like a neighborhood, or there's other things for reference. You're just on the bridge.
Have you ever been on the Golden Gate Bridge?
Yes.
Right. Well, I was hoping you'd say no.
I lived
have
in
nowhere else to go.
California. I've been to it like multiple times. I've been there plenty.
You also, we when we were there for Kind of Funny Prom,
I was there for that.
you, me, Wes, Alyssa, and Trevor all walked the Golden Gate, right?
We did.
Yeah.
Part of it.
Or no, we just
Just
I think
part of it.
took a photo and then went back.
You guys didn't want to go out to it.
It was too long. It's 2 miles. I don't
It's
want
like-
to
and
walk
all
that
the
much.
bits were too big, and
You didn't know if you were getting closer.
it felt like we were getting closer, and we weren't. It was still so far away because
Size.
I like San Francisco.
I do
Yeah.
too,
It's a nice
especially the
place.
big bits.
The big bits.
I haven't been in a couple of years. It's before pandemic.
Yeah.
If they had more of those pylons, it would be less of an optical illusion.
If they were
to you.
smaller.
If
What
they
are you not understanding
Because he
here?
said that the buildings, because there's more buildings around it, you can tell what scale
It's
they
frame
are.
of reference.
That's what I was adding was
But
more of
they're-
those pylons.
They're big. They're not small. He's talking about like going through a city. There's like smaller frames of references that you're passing.
Yeah, they're big, not small, John.
I'm lost now.
I totally get it.
You lost Barbara.
I was like hanging on, and then I went,
No, I got it. I got you.
I missed. Was the chat on my side at all? Did anyone look?
I don't know.
They're just laughing.
I
They don't
can't.
know.
I think I might need glasses. I can't read the chat anymore.
Uh-oh.
Like I could, if I squint, I could. That says RTAA content.
Can someone in chat post a series of letters that
Cubanito
get
777
smaller towards the
says,
bottom?
I think I'm with John on this
I
one.
walked
What?
the Golden Gate Bridge when I was in San Francisco. Can confirm, pretty dang bit long. Okay.
You look like you're upset with chat.
Yeah.
You're like furrowing your brow.
You guys can read that, okay?
Yeah.
LMAO, yup.
Well, he has glasses on.
Well,
I
you're
need
also
glasses. Yeah,
You're
He
the
says, yeah,
furthest.
but he has glasses.
I
you're the
definitely need.
furthest from it.
Oh, yeah, that is true. You're further.
It's on
Not by
Gus's side.
much, by like a foot difference, not even. But yeah, it's getting blurry.
When's the last time you got your eyes checked?
Before pandemic.
Yeah, it's,
If you-
it's the
if you were
first
running-
thing I did after I got vaccinated.
Really?
I was like, I went and got an eye exam.
If you were running
Fucking nerd.
towards that chat, John, it would get big really quick.
Right. Because it's not big.
Right.
Right.
You see this, John? Is it getting any bigger?
Whereas if you were running towards my dick, it would take forever.
Now that I
shit's
understand.
Massive.
Now that I understand.
Oh, Golden Gate dick.
9,000 feet long.
Lying down.
Rounding up. Really, it's only about 6,000.
Also, thank you, Peter, for putting yourself in all caps because I could read that great. Thank you.
Can you read this?
Yes. I can read this. Bahara.
I'm thankful that despite the fact that I am already lacking in a sense, my other ones seem to be still holding strong for the moment.
As far as you know.
As far as I know, I mean, just right now it's a good test. I can read that perfectly, and there's a person who's like much younger than me next to me who's struggling with it. So
I wouldn't say much. How many? You're
I'm 37,
seven. I'm gonna be 33 in July.
but I also like kids age you more.
That's true.
I thought I was 34, right? But in a week or two, I'm gonna be 34.
Oh, you.
I got a whole year for
It's
free.
because that happens, I think, in your 30s because age stops mattering in your 30s. And so there is nothing to differentiate yourself between 33 years old and 34-year-old. You don't change like dramatically, biologically. There's no new, level up or power ups you get with society or anything like that. But society mostly goes, we don't fucking care.
Until you hit 65, then you get cheap coffee.
Yeah.
So you thought you were turning 35.
I thought I was about to be 35, and I've been thinking, I must have spent months thinking I was 34. And then to find out that I was actually 33 and going to be 34,
How do you
felt
find-
like I got a free
You
year.
get a free
There
year.
is nothing more on brand for Gavin Free than that right there. That's you in a nutshell.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't forget the year I was born.
Right.
I just forgot the maths of it.
I did the same thing 33, 34. Not
Did you
sure.
really?
Yeah, I really did.
It's because it
that
doesn't
makes me
matter.
feel so much
Yeah,
better.
no.
Well, because
you're
you start
absolutely right.
thinking that you're gonna be this age, and then you think about that so much that okay, now I feel like I am that age.
It's like finding a
felt 28
fiver.
since 28. So
Yeah.
But it's
almost
a
like-
year.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like finding a fiver down the back of the sofa, but it's like $2 million. Because a year for free,
That's
that's
gold,
priceless.
especially in.
Or $2
It's priceless.
Which is the next best thing
Well,
to $2
especially
million.
after 2 years of the pandemic, where it feels like we lost 2 years of our life.
Yeah.
You know.
No, I
To
feel
get
like
one of them back.
I feel like I
Yeah.
hyper-aged.
So you know how I've talked about before how people who live in South Korea count their age differently. You count time in the womb. So when you're born, you're 1. Then everyone gains a year on January 1st.
Yeah.
So like you have
Still doesn't make sense to me.
the new president is making everyone a year younger.
Oh.
when they come
Dude,
into
if
office, they're gonna change the numbering system and shave a year off of everyone's
I'm
age.
gonna run for office someday, and I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna take a year off everyone's life.
No,
I'm
well,
gonna-
careful how you phrase
Well,
that.
I'm gonna age everyone backwards a year. Everyone gets to be 1 year younger than they currently are. You're welcome.
It's always interesting when one person has the
21-year-olds are
power
gonna be pissed.
to like shift something so big. I want to say it was Julius Caesar who they figured out that like a year wasn't exactly
Oh,
a year,
yeah.
and all of the time had been the extra 6 hours every year had been adding up, and everything was out of sync. So he had to change it.
You had to
so
change
that-
the month, right?
I think he had to add several months to the year.
It was like 4 months or something. It was huge. It was a huge
Yeah, and he had
shift.
to just like be like, all right, reset. And that must have been the weirdest year. I think I've mentioned this before, but a very weird year that must have been to have like a 500-day year or something.
Is he taking off the year in order to then align with how other countries count?
I don't know what
age?
the reasoning is for it. That's a good reason.
Yeah,
I
it's
think to try to align, it must be to try to align it more with the way everyone else counts age.
Do you think someone was going for the
you-
oldest person and then they just got set back a whole year?
Oh, probably.
Due to the different calculations of legal and social age, we've experienced unnecessary social economic costs from persistent confusion and disputes over calculating age when receiving social, welfare, and other administrative services, or signing or interpreting various contracts. So yeah, this is to come more in line with international age.
But it should just be days.
That change gets worse the younger you are because a year matters more when you're younger. So like someone who was like, I'm about to be able to get my driver's license, like fuck you, you got
or
another
be
year.
able to legally drink.
Yeah, alcohol and that kind of
Or
thing.
vote.
Yeah, or vote. It's like, no, you gotta wait. That's when like years matter. Like my kids right now, years matter.
Well, when you're young, that's the thing, right? It's like when you're young, a year is a larger percentage of your life.
Yeah.
Like the older you are, the smaller of a percent of your overall life it is. So the
Yeah,
less.
like when you're 10, it's a tenth of your life.
Yeah.
And like
The less
now
it
a
means
year
by-
is 1/32nd of my life.
Yeah, I've had this terrifying realization, and I think this is also part of the other podcast, briefly. But yeah, just looking back at the last day I got an achievement in a game, and then trying to finish the game, and looking at my save file from Oblivion is like May 2006.
Wait, why did I hear that? Did you say that on Off Topic or something?
Or bleep face.
No, I've been listening to Bleepface.
I don't know.
I think you brought it up here maybe last week.
Is
Oh.
it when you talked about
I
how
shouldn't be
good
on this.
Severance was?
You're on
I'm on too many podcasts. But yeah, it's just trippy to be like, oh, I remember when I stopped playing that game. Oh, that was
Yeah, it
almost
was
half
the bean.
my life ago.
It was bean. You were talking about.
That
on
was
the bean.
it. I had beans in my mouth. That's why I forgot I talked about it. I was cooking beans.
I think
Right.
you texted me that, and I wrote, "Fuck, I feel extra old now."
Yeah.
I want
messed up.
beans again. That bean podcast was so good. Getting to eat all y'all's good beans.
Some beans.
Yeah, it
Good
was
beans.
really
You didn't
good.
get any beans, did you, John?
I wasn't here. No,
Dang.
I wasn't here.
Can I have a bean redo?
You want a bean do?
A bean do.
Yeah, I think I can set that up.
We're also talking about-
I'll find your correct beans. I'll order them online or whatever, and then
Yeah, or
we
just
can
get
do a bean
HEB.
do.
Just get HEB. They're right there.
Do you do it on anything special for bread, or you just get whole wheat from HEB?
Yeah, just whatever.
Any
I
bread?
feel like the bread's not too important.
Okay.
Beans and toast.
I took home the bread that they had bought for Gavin because
Barbara was freaking out about this
it
bread.
was very good bread. It tasted like cake. It's like thick, delicious bread.
Like
It's
20 grams
What did
of
you buy?
sugar.
What did you
It's
buy?
so
The
good.
most middle of the road bread from like Target.
Was it Oro wheat? Was it?
I don't remember the brand. It's like thicker and softer than like a normal piece
What
of
bread
bread.
you been eating that's so bad?
I just eat like regular whole wheat bread, but like
Oh, that's your problem.
But was this like
I
whole
got
wheat bread?
no.
White?
No,
White.
this was like
Yeah.
white.
Okay, so it's white. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like my house. We never had white bread ever.
I know.
What's
Same.
the
We only did whole wheat growing
What's
up.
the bear logo one?
The bear logo one.
California.
No, the bear bread. The bread with the bear logo.
I don't know.
Old Country Bear Jamboree?
Yep, that bread.
Let me look it up.
Anyways, white bread was like candy.
Bread with a bear logo?
Yeah, like it's like a bee.
Not like Wonder Bread.
No. What is it?
Bimbo?
Oh,
Say Bebo?
bimbo bread.
Is that
it not
bread?
Bimbo?
Yeah,
Bimbo?
Beanbo.
It's spelled Bimbo.
Beam.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's this little guy.
We didn't have. My mom tried to keep us
Oh, you're close.
healthy, so we didn't have white bread.
I like growing up, I never had whole wheat bread, never had skim milk. It was always whole milk, white bread, like nothing.
We're gonna fatten this little Gustavo up.
nothing
Is what we're
even
gonna do.
remotely close to what you would consider healthy. It was always full fat, real butter, everything 100% good.
Did you-
100% eat.
I think there's something that we old men grew up with that is no longer a thing, where your mom's always had a box of dehydrated milk in the pantry.
What are you on about?
Not us.
No.
Not me. No.
It was
No,
a
it's-
total. That was a total like suburban mom thing. And
Is
even
that
my
like
grandma.
emergency milk?
Yeah, it was like if you ran out of milk, because that was always a problem, and then because we didn't have milk just delivered to our door.
Yeah, I feel very lucky to have had a milkman.
Just one of the greatest like
You said that like a
things
last
ever.
name.
Yeah.
Milkman.
Hello, I'm Stephen Milkman.
Milkman, sir.
But yeah, a little box of dehydrated milk.
Never had that.
Just terrible.
Was it taste like shit?
Oh, just terrible.
In my
but it
process-
it would come in handy in like in a pinch, like if you like wanted to bake something.
I could do with that because there are times where if I've run out of milk or the milk's bad, there's so many meals that don't function, like coffee, because I really struggle to drink black coffee.
Really?
Not that that's a meal.
My meal of coffee. Black coffee.
Cereal though, that's out the window.
I'm so mad that Tropicana made the cereal for orange juice and I missed it.
The cereal
What?
for
They did this
orange
short little
juice.
Like a
promotional
cereal
thing.
that's meant to be put in
They
orange
made
juice?
cereal that was meant to be used with orange juice,
Yucky.
That sounds
Awful.
horrendous.
but I have to try it.
Tropicana. Wait, does anyone want to guess what the flavor would be?
My guess would be some other type of fruit flavored.
It's in there.
Like other random fruit. Like not Fruit Loops, but something different.
You want to guess, Gav?
Mango.
Oh, I bet that would be good.
What was it?
Tropicana Crunch honey almond cereal.
Honey
I cannot
almond.
imagine honey almond with orange juice.
Yeah, that
It
doesn't sound
looked
good.
interesting.
That means
and
bad.
I thought I had time, but I didn't know it was that limited of a thing. And so,
Oh, this was just like a couple weeks ago, huh?
yeah, it was very
Oh.
recent. And
Never
I,
sleep on orange juice cereal, John.
I thought, well, see, here's this problem with promotional cereals.
Listen,
Is that they put out, it's kind of like video games. They put out the like teasers for it really far in advance.
Yeah.
And then, but unlike video games, they slow roll them out to certain stores. And so you don't know when your store has them. Like the launch date could be this, but like my Walmart doesn't get them for 2 weeks.
this cereal came with a paper sipping straw inside of it.
Oh, so you could drink the orange juice
Yeah.
after?
I'm going to tell you, I'm looking at this box of cereal. I've got a real problem with this box, John.
The design's bad.
This orange is too cool.
Oh,
He's got
that's a very
sunglasses
cool
on.
orange.
They need to decrease the
temperature?
No, it's because he's a cereal mascot. He's
They
gotta
need to
be
decrease
cool.
his coolness from about 25%.
No, he's got to compete with Tony and
There it is.
Toucan Sam and all that.
Look at the orange juice being poured. That looks vile.
It looks
Look at it in the
It looks
bowl
awesome.
beneath.
That looks like an experience that I missed.
That looks like
Yucky.
Someone from the internet, find me a box and send it, please.
I'm sure it still exists somewhere. I'm sure you could find it.
Someone has to work for Tropicana.
Someone
I missed
probably
out.
does.
that looks like swill.
I'm still mad that the Mother's Day.
You can buy a box for $140.
I know
on eBay.
they're going for so much money on eBay right now.
Just get a fucking box of like.
No, but I need to know
You want
what
an orange?
they did.
I'll make you an orange juice cereal.
Yeah,
I'll bring it here next week.
Well,
I feel
one,
like that looks
I
like
would love that.
an
Gus.
existing cereal. That's
But they
really cool.
said it was
totally
made
does.
for cereal, and for orange juice. I want to know what that means.
Just chuck a bunch of almonds in a freaking cup of orange juice, you fool. What else you need?
But there was I don't know what they did.
That's what they did. They bought
did.
an almond crunch cereal. They took
You
the
don't
label
know
off
that.
and put a different one on
You
it.
weren't there.
I like what? I'm just so confused. Is it something that only tastes good with orange juice? Like, would the cereal
Maybe.
still be good with milk?
Now we got to try it with other stuff.
I know we have to. You know what
should.
I realized in
Next,
googling?
no bean off. Next one is the cereal
All right,
orange juice
the bean
off.
redo has to
Taste-
wait.
Taste test.
What did you realize?
While I was googling the bread with the bear on it,
Yeah.
I accidentally opened up my Google tabs, the things I've Googled recently.
Yeah.
And I think that's a fun game to play. Is have everyone open up their previously Googled things and just say what they are.
Golden Gate Bridge length.
Mine are where to get the rocket launcher in GTA 5.
No.
Famous wrestlers.
Famous wrestler.
I don't even remember why. Image of an Ator, which is a villain in a Court of Thorns and Roses,
There
because I
you
wanted to
go.
see what they look like. ATX party boats. The song Boats and Hose.
Where does it say this?
If you
Hit a new
if you're
tab.
on the Google app and you're at the
I don't have
bottom.
the Google app.
Oh, never mind. How to enable reposts on TikTok. I like it Picasso and bread with bear.
Cool.
Those are my recent Google tabs. Awful.
All of mine are here related to
Ooh, that sounds good.
podcast stuff, just because I've been looking up stuff.
Oh yeah.
Do bones float?
Are bones denser than rocks?
I looked up the last thing I looked up before the podcast had to do with a dog that Eric kept showing us.
Eric, tell us all about the dog that
No,
you
I
like.
don't want to hear about that dog. It's time to wrap this podcast up.
Borzoi, is that how you say
Nope,
it?
we're done.
So long.
We're done. That
What's
that
with
dog
that?
is only out for itself.
Oh.
All right.
classic.
Thanks for
What's
watching,
in it for
everybody.
me?
We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye. Here, it's 6:30 already.